Get down, bitch! Fuck you!
Try to get us, try to get us. He's coming. There he goes. To your left. Oh, shit. Nice.
What is up, my fellow alcoholics, and welcome to the channel. And in today's video, we'll be going over the MP7 and my example loadouts that I use the MP7 for when it comes to ground war, 10v10 maps, 6v6, and you can even use my ground war loadout on the now released and playable Warzone. So let's get right into these loadouts. Starting with the ground war loadout. For the muzzle, we went with the monolithic suppressor, and that's for the damage over range, and of course the other added bonus is the sound suppression. For the barrel, went for the FSS Strike barrel for its damage over range and the extra bullet velocity. For the foregrip, we went with Merc foregrip, and then that's for the underbarrel, excuse me. And the ammunition went for the 50 round mag. You can do the 60 round mag, which is definitely a must in Warzone, but 50 round mag works out just fine too. And I went with the stipple grip tape for the ADS and the sprint to fire speed. Now, there's many different ways to run the MP7. I've seen people run it without no stock for the extra ADS and movement. That's completely fine. I really felt like I didn't need it. It's just a well-rounded SMG, and you don't really need too much to make it really, really good. Which we'll get into the 6v6 loadout. And everything's pretty much the same, minus the monolithic suppressor. So with the barrel, we stuck with the FSS Strike barrel. The Merc foregrip for the underbarrel. And we went also with the 50 round mag. Which, I mean, like I said, you can still use a 60 round mag. But you will lose a little bit of frames in your ADS time if that's the case, if you're okay with that. Stipple grip for the ADS and the sprint to fire, and then the sleight of hand for the smaller 6v6 maps, simply because you're going to be in a lot of engagements, especially around corners and all that, a lot quicker in those 6v6 multiplayer maps. I haven't ran sleight of hand on Warzone just yet because I felt like it's unnecessary, because you're running like the 50 or 60 rounds, and you only need... you pretty much can take out a whole squad with 50 or 60 rounds, to tell you the truth, as long as you're taking engagements at close range. So this is the wall test. Pretty much starting with a standard no attachment MP7. And you can see it's mostly vertical. Mostly vertical. It's barely got side-to-side wobble when it comes to the horizontal recoil. But it's mostly vertical. And this is my 10v10, Warzone, you name it, ground war loadout. As you can see, the pattern's a little bit tighter on the vertical recoil, and that's due to the Merc foregrip. Merc foregrip, I believe, is a definite attachment, definitely needed attachment when it comes to SMGs. And this is my 6v6, which is pretty much identical to the ground war loadout. There's not much that changed there, except for obviously the monolithic suppressor. So going to the wall test for the hip fire. This is standard. As you can see, the hip fire actually is really, really good on the MP7. And then throwing the Merc foregrip on it just makes it godlike. It's just, if you look at the concentration of the bullets at the top of the chest area right there, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I find it hard to believe that you can't kill somebody with the MP7 shooting from the hip. And that's, honestly, that's with the Merc foregrip. I mean, imagine throwing the Merc foregrip with the 5 milliwatt laser or even the 1 milliwatt. I mean, it just makes that hip fire pattern even tighter, and it's more deadly. To be honest with you guys, there's so many ways you can set up the MP7 and still be successful. But I just feel that the one key ingredient to the MP7 has to be a barrel. You have to increase its range, because there's some times where it feels like the MP7 is just like a hit marker machine. Feels like it takes way too many bullets to kill somebody. And especially at those medium to long ranges, it just feels like it takes way too many bullets. So I highly advise you guys to throw at least one of the barrels that increases bullet velocity and damage over range. I mean, you don't need anything to increase accuracy like recoil control or whatnot. The FSS barrel, I think, is pretty much the only barrel you'll actually need on the MP7. Otherwise, you will do just fine with it. Any other setup you want. No stock. You want the ADS stock. If you want 60 round mags. If you want to use a laser instead of the Merc foregrip. It's your guys' call. The only thing... You know what? I'll take that back. I want to throw two things in. I think the Merc foregrip is it's definitely needed for your loadout. Like, indefinitely. It's just you need it for an SMG. Hands down. It helps out a lot. So, extended barrel, Merc foregrip, everything else is your guys' choice. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like button and subscribe if you guys haven't already. I hope it was kind of useful for you guys. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will catch you guys next time. Damn, every time I get my cluster strike, I die. Son of a gun. Grenade. Hiding in the red container in the middle. I think he came out though. This guy keeps hitting me with the freaking javelin, man. Come on, teammate, you suck. Wow, that's incredible. You pre-firing whore! Damn you!
Wow.
Little punk. Dang it. Don't let me get my Wilson, man.